I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the Village, Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy
merch indeed. A challenge shall lead them. Speaking of merch,
Here we are.
dear listener,
The new stuff is up, you guys.
we
Check
are
it
up.
out.
We are up with the times, bitches. We have there's this thing called NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens. Jay-Z has one. Jay-Z's current Twitter profile is an NFT. So there you go. And we also have NFTs, you losers. And so if you, dear listener, are interested in an NFT, to be honest with you, I don't even know how you can get them. That's a Dorian project. But in the future, we will let you know.
Yep.
What I do know, though, is music. Nevermore, final product, live. Let's go. The anticipation. Tremolo picking right from the beginning. Damn.
Look at the world, look at the hell, look at the
shit.
This guy's blacking out right now. Okay. I guess the lead singer is with the A in Soph now. Rest in peace to the homie. Rest in peace to the homie. To the Lord we belong, and to the Him we go. Okay.
Was he old? Was he like older?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, he wasn't not old enough to die of natural causes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like, he died in 2019, according to the Big Homie Wacky Tour. Way more cowbell. You know, there's a restaurant now where we live called Cowbell, and we ordered. They're okay. Shout out to Cowbell.
They were good the first time, and then everything else is trash.
Weird. Yeah, they were really good the first time, and then I don't know what happened after that. I don't know. You guys could have set your game up. Anyway,
so the topic of this song.
We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Before we went on, we went live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The media loves the latest tragic suicide. They exploit it, then package it, and profit from the people who die. Look at the world. Look at the hell. Look at the hate that we've made. Look at the final product, a world in slow decay. I'm told that all your seeds are black. I've learned the question is unanswered and opaque. Go ahead.
I'm just looking at Kel. When I first heard this album, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to hang on my guitar now. Yeah. Yeah. After that solo, because we were joking around, because I'm in a band with a couple people from the channel, and I mean, look, I came up as a rapper, right? Like, I came up as hip hop. I can rap. I'm the best rapper I know. I'm the best rapper in the state of Maine.
Oh, he's good. He's really good.
I'm the best rapper in the state of Maine. I'm not a very good guitar player. I'm just not. I'm very, very limited about what I can do. So we've got a.
I think he's really good.
That's because she doesn't know Mel. We've got a song. We've got a song that's coming out. You guys will hear it pretty soon.
But I'm looking at his song as a whole. Like, the entire song is very, very good, and it's well executed.
When you see you see my contribution to the song, you'll go, oh, okay, brother's limited. That's okay, and I'm fine with that. What I'm saying is, like, there are some guitarists that, like, you play and you're like, yeah. Like, I was practicing, like, last night. It was like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It was I think it was 8:30 actually. And I was practicing my scales and shit. I was like, yeah. I was feeling really good. I was feeling like a badass. I was doing some modifications. I was like, yeah. We'll do this shit live and make it a little different. Then I saw this guy. And I just took my little pick and I just put it down. That's it.
Really?
That solo was incredible.
Oh.
That solo was insane. Extremely difficult to play. Bunch of techniques at the same time. One of the things that's the hardest thing to do as a musician is to make good decisions. That's why you have a producer. Mm-hmm. Right? The producer says, hey, do we want that progression to go in there?
Right.
Like, they just make really, really good decisions and transitions. That's like a big, big part of songwriting is knowing when to, we're going to extend that. We're going to, lower that, all the rest of it. But anyway, shout out to Kellen Dross, because I was thinking the same thing. But yeah, we were just talking about the lyrical content of the song, where we're talking about how the media, and it's really interesting, like, how we always try to blame the media, when in fact the matter is that if people were not watching what the media was presenting, then the advertisers who run the commercials would not buy those commercials.
Right.
Like, the entire I didn't understand this as a kid. I thought the commercials were interruptions from the show. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm on this side of the business, I realize that the entire reason for the show is just so that you can have a commercial, so that you can make money. And there's nothing wrong with that, except for when it turns into real life scenarios. So if you're making movies, that setup is great because now you've got competition among screenwriters to give you the best story. But what happens when you take that dynamic and that template and apply it to real life? You see?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
So like this whole, this Gabby situation, and rest in peace to her, and obviously rest in peace to the homie. What's his name?
Brian Laundrie.
So I guess they found his body about 3 or 4 days back, and
what was left?
I'm sorry.
What was left?
What was left of it?
Yeah.
Of his
remains?
Body. So
yeah.
He's also dead.
Yeah.
So now you've got 2 dead human beings created in the image of God.
Well,
and,
4.
Yeah, right. Because there was that lesbian couple, and they got killed as well.
Yeah.
So there's just so many angles to this situation. And I remember we shot a couple Middle America videos about it. I mean, to be honest with you, I emotionally, I was having a hard time with it. But
yeah, absolutely.
And so were you. I mean, at one point I said, you just change the channel. Just stop.
Yeah, we were actually going to do more breakdowns on it. And I stopped watching some of the stuff because it went on for so long, and it was just so hard to, it was hard to balance and find the appropriate feelings for the situation,
right.
Because there was one part of me that was, well, I'm a mom, so if that was my kid, how it would feel if it was my son, how it would feel if it was my daughter. And then just as a human being, thinking of myself as a teenager and the different situations that I put myself in, with all my parents' rules and all their, protection that they tried to do to keep me safe, I still did things that I look back and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That was so friggin' dangerous. And I didn't even, like, at the time, I didn't realize how much danger I was potentially in.
Yeah.
And so, and then obviously the question of why, we talked about this, that people from our point of view, from our understanding of the world, is that people are born sinful. And so apart from God holding you back from doing something really terrible, we'd all be capable of doing something like this, which is just crazy to really think about. And then I think about how much of the evils of the world and the things that we see is because of what we've seen. With the internet and with movies and with everything, how much of that is incited? So there's this small little airport that's, within 20 minutes from our house. And there was a mentally challenged man. This was years ago. I'm not sure if you even knew about this. There was a mentally challenged guy that had played video games of flying these small airplanes, or these small little, whatever they call those things, the small little
drones,
personal ones. No.
They're
little tiny planes that people fly to get from one place to another. They have
Cessna?
little airports.
Well, Cessna. Like the 2-seater little planes?
Yeah, stuff like that. Small stuff. Well, he was playing a simulation game about those and learned all the controls and everything. Well, he got out of his home, and the people that were supposed to be watching him, I guess, missed that he kind of slipped out the back. He had seen that airport, and he went over there to try to fly the friggin' planes from the video games.
Yeah.
And he did. He flew it, and he landed. And it was a little rough of a landing, but the guy had never done it before, and he was mentally handicapped.
Yeah.
But because of the game, he felt like he was qualified and was able to get this plane up and down, And yes, he was, had mental challenges, but that should make it even more shocking. And so then I think to myself, with all the games that we have, the movies, the YouTube videos, the accesses through the dark web and the different, there's so much good that's out there that you can wrap your mind around and you can feed your mind with. And then there's a whole world of evil, and you make the choice where you're going to click, what you're going to do. And I don't know, like, whoever killed this girl, like,
and this guy.
Right.
He's
if it
dead.
was the same person. Yeah. I don't know who did it. I'm just saying, like, the fact that somebody could do that, and it's somebody so young and, you know, seemingly innocent because they're so young. I mean, obviously she had her own issues as well, but the fact that, like, to me, when somebody kills somebody out of rage, that makes more sense.
Then what?
Than, like, if it was just some random, like, let's say it was the guy that watched them fight, and then he said, here's my opportunity. He put hands on her. Now I can go after her because this was just done in public. So then he goes after the girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a situation like that, like, somebody...
Yeah. It just... I mean, look. The There's a whole bunch of questions that have to be asked. Number one, why is this situation capturing our country's fancy? That's one. When you have one of the things we have to realize is the media makes decisions. I say this all the time when we watch shows. When I say an author decides for you what your emotions are going to be in the story and who you're going to align yourself with.
Right, exactly.
So, for example, Sammy the Bull Gravano, very, very famous assassin, whatever, Gambino crime family, responsible for 19 bodies, horrible individual.
That we know of.
That we know of, correct.
There's a lot of stories floating around that it was somebody...
when you talk to the guy, when you listen to him, he's such a likable guy.
Right. Yeah.
He's such a likable guy, very reasonable, rational, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And then he tapped into this other side of himself that he had in reserve. And you know, we have it's kind of a funny chuckle type of thing. The whole original sin debate on the channel and all the rest of it. It's like sometimes words get completely weighted down with bad connotations because of the person who's delivering, the packaging.
Okay.
So when people hear sin, they automatically hear, hypocritical religious judgmentalism or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So if I were to say, okay, everybody is born with a propensity towards selfishness. That kind of softens the edge, and people are like, okay, I'm good with that. But that still doesn't explain how regular German citizens could turn against their own neighbors and liquidate them and then steal all their shit. Yeah. Yeah. And this is a reason why we're constantly trying to take Germany in the 30s and 40s, and we're trying to it's so funny, like the way people talk about Germany at that time. It's like you're trying to take them out of the earth and put them on some different planet as if they're some different species of people. Then why is it, since those German people are so horrible, why is it that you can hear about all those people that we murdered in Afghanistan and in Iraq and you're fine? You're still in line to get your Starbucks coffee. You're good, bro. If we were good people, our country would not be able to function because all of us would be losing our minds over the people that we kill on a yearly basis. You wouldn't be able to go to work if we were good people. If we were generally good and we heard that people were killing other human beings in our name.
Yeah. Yep. I know.
If we were good, we would do something to stop it. 99% of us, and I said us, do not feel and do not react properly to evil. We only feel and react properly mostly when there's something that's in direct proximity to us. That's a fact. So, to me, I don't understand the whole, what do you mean originals? I don't get it. How do you explain us? How do you explain it?
Yeah.
You got a country full of good people, and we're fucking murdering people all over the place. I'm talking about America. I'm talking about, we know what our country is doing to the world. And everything still goes on fine. How is that? It's not possible in a nation full of good people.
Right.
Sorry. We're not good people. And I think that all of us, and I know that we're telling people that, we know that there's a little delay. It's going to come back at some point. I'm sorry. Like, I don't see logically how any of us can look at the last century and the last 20 years of human and American history and then come out of that and say, yeah, we're basically good people. And I think all of us at a subliminal level know we're not good people. Try to refresh that, see what happens. I think we all subliminally know that we're not good people, and that's one of the reasons we're so fascinated with stories like this. Because it's a way for us to look into our own darkness while at the same time being able to excise it from ourselves. We can say, oh, that guy. And that's why people are so quick to jump on that guy and say, he's the one that did it. We want to have somebody to blame. We still want to look at our own darkness and go, holy shit, am I capable of that?
Wow.
But simultaneous to that, we want to say, no. So we said, oh, he's the guy. And that's why it was so important for everybody to blame this dude.
Wow.
And so I think we got to learn. There's some real lessons here that the people in the metal community and all these other these situations are telling us a story. It's telling us a story. It's telling us about ourselves, but we don't like what the narrative says.
Yeah.
We don't like it.
Right.
Because we truly want to believe that there's a major difference
between us and those people.
Colin Powell just died he died of COVID, ironically.
Oh my gosh.
And Colin Powell was the main dude that lied us into that war in Iraq. But Colin Powell is black. He was the first black Secretary of State. So I am supposed to say, oh, rest in peace, Colin Powell, blah, blah, blah. And I'm proud because you were the first Secretary. Man, fuck Colin Powell. I saw a meme, and it was all these Iraqi children. And it was God, and it was Colin Powell. And God turns to Colin Powell and says, these people want to talk to you.
Oh, God.
Before you talk to me, these people want to talk to you. So, I'm sorry, man. Wow. I'm with Nevermore on this. They're right. They're right about this.
Wow.
He says, I heard all your seeds are black.
Yeah.
Seed, right, is usually, it's still to this moment, people still talk about seed as your children. So, if the seeds are black, then the tree, the fruit, the trunk, the bark,
that's how I was taking it.
The whole thing, everything is black. That's how I took it.
Uh-huh.
He's going to the root of the problem, which I think is great. So he says, I've heard that your seeds are black.
See, I thought when it said seeds, I didn't take that as children. I took that as, like, the deeds, the things that you do. Like, all of them, no matter what, you plant a seed in the ground, it's going to bring forth that tree. And he's saying the seeds are black. That means everything that you do is always going to bring up more darkness, more evil, whatever.
Yeah. No, I'm with it.
He says we're witnessing a famine of the innocent. Did they die for religion or the government?
So Andre says, just like the church killed millions in the name of Jesus. Well, get me that documentation, because I believe in accuracy and didn't see the hypocrisy. But you're right. You're right about that, Andre. The church did not kill millions of people, but your point is still well said. They tortured. Well, let me say it this way. The church made life, I'll say it this way, Andre. The church made, especially during the Dark Ages, the church made life so miserable for people that they would rather have died than lived. I'll say that. And that's a fact. Ask any gay kid in one of those horrible camps that, can you imagine?
Yeah.
You're just some regular kid, and then you get picked out of your brothers and sisters, and you get sent to some camp, then you got to come home. Like, it's mind-boggling to me. They made that illegal in California.
Good for them.
And I remember my only problem with that is that I'm not a fan of the government telling the state what they can do with their children. That puts us on a pretty crazy trajectory. But holy shit. Because then so on what basis, what algorithm did the government use to get to that point to tell that parent they can't do that with their child?
Well, I didn't take it as they were telling the parent they can't do it. I thought they were telling the organization, you can't have these camps anymore.
Oh, it's effectively telling the parent.
It still works for the parent, but it's the government shutting down something that's not healthy for people. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, where does the government get that sort of right to be able to say that?
Authority?
What if the government thinks that church is not good, or what if they think that any 4-H is not good,
or homeschooling? That state is bullshit. Our kids would be destroyed if they were in homeschool. And I don't mean destroyed. I mean destroyed in the sense of they would be like, Jordan would be a regular 16-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He'd be talking about all types of whatever.
Yeah.
Dumb shit instead of building a business right now to make himself financially solvent by the time he's 18 years old.
We got him a huge map. It almost takes up a whole wall. And he was thrilled. I see them looking at that map every day, arguing about where things are, going and pointing it out. It's really great. I was talking to a mother that, well, she only had 2 kids, but I told her we have 6, and I said that we homeschool, and she was like, oh my word. And people always think that's going to be like super negative, like, oh, you're an unbelievable person or whatever. But I just said, no, like, it's really fun having a bunch of kids. Like there's times where it's extremely frustrating. Like when we get a bunch of sinners all living together.
Yeah.
So, but like the kids, we have so much fun together. I love going down and hang out with them down there. We cook together. We work together. We study together. We do all kinds of stuff together. It's really a cool experience. And I told her, I said, we're in a unique situation because none of our kids go to public school. Yeah. So they're all different. Like when kids go to, public school, they kind of fit into, there's a few little categories and they all start acting like each other. And they have to survive. Right. Yeah. And so I'm glad that we're able to, keep them home and allow them to grow in their own unique ways. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, punk. I'm a big fan. Batushka. Black metal's actually my favorite genre. So thanks for that. But I agree. When I say destroyed, I mean just they would be pushed into conformity in the boxes and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. Zoe wouldn't be encouraged in her art and her screenwriting, and then Dorian wouldn't be encouraged in his entrepreneurial endeavors. They would hold him back and make him think like a regular person. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But this is a really, really good song. And that's one of the things, like, I think it's one of the most important things you ever did. And look, if it ever comes out that the dude Brian Laundrie is guilty, fine. But you were the only person I saw on the internet that was like, yo, we don't know the details of what happened. And like everybody was reacting to that one, the dash cam video. No, of course it looked, whatever. And anytime there's a situation like that, it looks weird. But to go from, oh, that was a weird interaction to he must have killed her.
Yeah.
None of us had any evidence, but everybody and their mother was saying, oh, this guy's guilty. He still might be. But the fact of the matter is, this guy is also dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he didn't kill himself and he didn't die of natural causes, that means someone killed him. Okay. Well, then that means he's a potential victim himself. Mm-hmm. But all the innocent until proven guilty, all that shit, man, that shit went out the window, bro. So I think we gotta, when situations like this happen, we always like to act like we're above it. We always go, oh, the media is ginning this up. Well, people are watching it. Mm-hmm. So we are patronizing the media, so they keep doing it. Mm-hmm. When we first started the channel, we would do a Metallica song. We get like 40,000 views. Guess what I want to do tomorrow? A Metallica song, right? Like it wasn't until we said, hey, we've got an opportunity to really, really go down to the rabbit hole of metal and get different music and things like that. And then we were able to open up the underground and how the thing evolved. But the point is, when you're in media and you make your capital and you make your living off of media, mm-hmm. you find out very quickly how to do that. And it's whatever sells, right? And whatever's going to capture attention. And this situation captures attention. We love the story. We've seen the template a million times. Scumbag guy, innocent, nice white girl. Look what happened. Yada, yada, yada. And we had it. We got it locked down. We got it. We know what happened. And now we're just watching the thing unfold. And we're going to find out how the detective solves the mystery. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, there's like 3 or 4 families that are completely destroyed. Probably 400 people that are ruined off of this whole situation that are never going to be the same again. Yep. But it's just a Law and Order episode to us. It's unbelievable. I'm saying us. I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. Now I am talking about you because you have the same disorder that I do as far as the human heart. But I'm sorry. But we're entertained by this stuff. And we want to blame the media. The media is going to turn around and say, nah, bro, we're giving you what you want. And the advertisers are going to say, listen, I would buy $100,000 worth of time at PBS. but nobody wants to hear about children's books. You see what I'm saying? This is the shit we want. And as long as we want to blame the media or we want to say Brian Laundrie, you don't want to see yourself in Brian Laundrie at all. There's nothing like, let's say he's a horrible killer. There is nothing in him that's relative to you at all. He's a Martian. Okay. I think it'd be a lot wiser to look at these situations with some sobriety and say, where am I in this? How would you have reacted, men, in that situation? In that thing, how do you know how would you have reacted if you've never been in that situation? Anyway,
I think for me, like,
go ahead.
I had a close friend of mine that was in a bad marital situation, and it was a strange situation because it was flipped. So it was the woman being severely abusive to the man, even threatening his life. And it was really bad. It was really bad. And you wouldn't know it by looking on the outside. You know, she looked all, frail and fragile. And, he looked like he could definitely hold his own in a room full of 50 people that were angry against him. So it was a weird situation. And I thought that she might be more the victim. And I was completely wrong. And after that, it's really like, I don't know. Now I'm less quick to say, or at least I think that I'm less quick to say, that's the guilty party, that's the innocent party. Stuff gets more, like you said, we don't have all the details. We're just pulling off details from what we're getting. And it is really, really sad how
And none of us are worried that we could have just completely sullied this guy's legacy. Nobody cares that we completely... Millions of people have accused this guy of murder. What if all of you are wrong? We don't care. We don't care. We just completely crapped on this guy's legacy. He himself got killed. There's no ounce of pity for him whatsoever.
Right.
We don't even know how he came to be dead. This is how the media and people really believe they're free thinkers. And you really believe you're a free thinker. Come on, guys.
I said at the beginning, because I saw some of the comments, and people were saying, I hope he kills himself quickly, blah, blah, blah. And now the kid is dead. And it's like, we don't know what happened.
Unbelievable.
And, so when we were watching... this is supposed to be kind of funny the way that they project it, but on Schitt's Creek, when the mother's information is out there and all of a sudden she starts reading the comments and she's like, she hides in the closet. She's completely lost it. She takes too many of her pills. She's losing it because the comment section, but that shit's real. They made it funny. So that way it would be a funny scene. But there are lots of people that are completely traumatized by comment sections. And there are people who have had YouTube channels that stopped doing it because they couldn't handle the harsh criticism and just the meanness that comes out. We laugh at the comments, you know what I mean? But we're in it together and it's just different for us.
Look, we've been outside of abortion clinics.
Yeah.
We're particularly constituted for war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
not everybody is like that.
Yeah.
There are very few people who are like that.
Especially people that, I've said this before, you get a comments. You have a YouTube channel, you're going to get comments. And the longer you do it, you're going to get positive and negative comments. And for some reason, the negative ones, they stick in your head more than the positive ones lots of times. Mm-hmm. And especially if it hits you emotionally. Well, anyway, this kid didn't have, to my understanding, she was the only one that was on social media. So she would have been more acclimated to a little bit more of comments, but he's not. And so then if, he saw that comment section and everybody was going after him, telling him he's better off dead and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know what happened to this kid. I don't know what happened at all, but I don't want to be the one that accuses somebody of something, especially if they didn't do it. And then that weighs so heavily on their mental
and then the question is, why are we so quick to do that?
Right. Well,
how long did it take you to litigate this trial in your head? 2 seconds?
It was fast for me.
Why were we so quick to do that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If it was us, we'd say, hey, wait a second. Innocent till proven guilty, blah, 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 blah. But the media gave us a curated version of what happened. They included stuff, they left stuff out, which everybody has to do. Otherwise, they would report the story for 28 hours. So there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to understand, anything, and this is not one of these conspiracy, the media, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's as deep as like 15 layers of the Illuminati. I think it's just plain capitalism.
Yep.
And if you're on this side of the business, it becomes so clear to you what's happening.
Yep.
From what you do on the editing board to what the final product people see, it's like even watching the video now versus when people were watching the previous format, even you guys, it's a totally different feel. Because you're seeing all this stuff and people are, oh, that's going to get edited, yada, yada, yada. That's what happens. So they curate that to us and give it to us in a nice little 5-minute piece. And then they know everybody's going to have this idea. And then all of us get to start playing judge, jury, and executioner. I love you, Kellen Dots, but Keldraw says, well, if he was guilty, it sucks because he didn't get to face justice.
Guess that's how you look at it. I mean...
You got to decide, Kel, which killers should face justice and which killers shouldn't, right? Because there's some killers that you're okay with not facing any justice whatsoever. As a matter of fact, there's some killers where you feel it's unjust that they're not able to kill people. I'm specifically avoiding the argument because I want to deal with why we cannot be consistent with ourselves. I'm talking about ourselves. I'm not talking about one person. I just brought up Kel because he's big enough to handle it and he's not going to go crazy by the call out on YouTube. But you guys get my point. My point is ask yourself these questions. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything on this. Ask yourself these questions. Why was I so quick to convict this guy? What was the point of the media? What is the media's goal? Is the media just trying to get me information or do they have other agendas? What are they trying to accomplish? What commercials do you see? This is an interesting one. Go to CNN or go to any of these places, right? And watch what happens in the commercial. Watch what's being advertised in the commercial. Because that's the other thing. When you're on this side of the business, you get very, very specific about which commercials, what timestamp, where, when, and what context it is. Just watch it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You don't need an intergalactic conspiracy. You just need people want money. Okay. Anyway, I love the song. Very relevant. What do you give it?
9.
9.4. This is one of those songs that was realer now than when it was written. So, that's great.
Okay, so for me, it probably would be like an 8.9 sound-wise, but it was outside and all that stuff. You got to factor all that stuff in. And I will say the topic was very, very relevant. So maybe I'm going to bump it to a 9.3. And then you went with 9.4?
Yeah.
Yeah, the relevance. I bumped it up for relevance. All right, well, there you are. The
There you
Wackator.
are,
Thank you for
dear
that
listener.
song and the great conversation that followed.
Yes. Rest in peace to Gabby. Rest in peace to Brian. May God have mercy on everybody involved in this situation.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Because I'll tell you what, Kel. I'll say this last thing. I don't want justice for me, and I don't want justice for you. I want God to be merciful to you. And I want God to overlook your many sins, Kel. And I want God to overlook my trillions of sins. So, I don't want Brian to face justice. And that's easy for me to say because I'm not Shorty's father. Yeah. Now, if it was my daughter, I would say, fuck that guy. And I hope he receives justice. That's because I'm selfish. And I love myself and my daughter more than I love God. That's obvious. But if the idea of God is true and it's real and he is a loving God, then it would hurt him. It would cause him pain to give justice to Brian. So I hope for God's sake that prior to his death, him and God squash their beef. And inshallah, the God that I serve is big enough to where they both could be up there right now, loving each other and loving him, even if one was the cause of the other ending up there. That's what I believe. And if I didn't believe that, there's no reason to be here, guys. That's where I'm at with it. All right, there you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.